Prime Minister Datuk Seri Semasa today urged keluarga Malaysia to instill the fighting spirit of warriors and love for the country in conjunction with the Warriors' Day celebration this year. In a post on his Facebook page, the Premier also reminded Malaysians about the struggles and sacrifices made by the warriors in defending the country's sovereignty. Datuk Seri Semasa said the Warriors' Day is celebrated to commemorate the nation's soldiers and to remember the services of all security forces, including the military and police, before and after the country's independence. He noted that their fighting spirit is so great that they are willing to sacrifice their lives for their beloved homeland. The Warriors' Day celebration is usually held on 31st July every year to commemorate their services and bravery of the fallen heroes. Barisan Nasional component parties are urged to conduct an assessment of voters' sentiments so as to gauge their own strengths ahead of the 15th general election GE15. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Semasa said this is important to understand voters' sentiments in the mission to restore voters' trust in BN, in addition to ensuring that the assessment of their party strengths and also of the opposition is based on facts and not emotions.
Kita nak kajian sikap yang detail sebab untuk berperang kita kena tahu kekuatan kita dan kita kena tahu kekuatan musuh. Kalau kita saja kira kekuatan kita tak tahu pun kekuatan musuh, akhirnya kita disurprisekan dengan strategi dia yang terakhir. Akhirnya kita kecundang.
Datuk Seri Semasa, who is also UMNO Vice President, said it was also important for all BN members to put a stop to the practice of political sabotage if they are not chosen as candidates in GE15, and also to understand their roles in ensuring a BN win. He said BN must ensure unity prevails within the coalition to win the hearts of the people, in turn establishing a stable government. In addition, the Prime Minister said it was also important for BN component parties to be the voice of the government in disseminating accurate information to the masses, particularly on initiatives taken for the well-being of the people. Therefore, he said BN component parties must be astute in countering allegations, including from the opposition, especially through their own social media platforms to ensure the government and the coalition's image is not marred.
Seperti saya kata tadi, kita sekarang perlu menjadi lidah kepada kerajaan untuk membawa segala good news yang diumumkan oleh kerajaan, kitalah yang menghebohkan.
Datuk Seri Semasa reminded BN component parties to reflect on its GE14 defeat, which led to the coalition with limited allocations by virtue of being the opposition, not being able to help the people as much. The Dewan Rakyat's decision to approve the anti-party hopping bill last Thursday reflects the success of Prime Minister Datuk Seri Semasa Rural Development Minister Datuk Seri Khalid said the government under Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri's leadership gained a two-thirds majority support for the bill to amend the federal constitution.
Jadi satu kejayaan lah untuk Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob Perdana Menteri, kerana beliau ada dua kejayaan untuk two-third majority pindaan perlembagaan ni. Yang pertama adalah MA63 untuk Sabah Sarawak, yang tu pun pembangkang bagi sokongan lebih pada 148 orang two-third, dan ini kedua Akta Lompat Parti. Sekali lagi Yang Amat Berhormat dapat 209, lebih daripada 148 orang, two-third majority lah.
Last Thursday, the Dewan Rakyat created history after passing the bill to amend the federal constitution to prevent members of parliament from switching parties. The Dewan Rakyat also previously approved the bill to amend the federal constitution to give recognition to the demands and special status of Sabah and Sarawak. Thorough discussions will be held by the Agriculture and Food Industry Ministry before deciding whether to impose an export ban on chicken to Singapore in the future. Speaking to reporters during the 2022 Maha Media Tour at the Malaysia Agro Exposition Park Serdang, MIEPS today, Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ronald Kiandi said such move is only a temporary intervention measure to ensure stability of chicken supply in Malaysia.
Langkah intervensi sekatan harga akan berakhir pada fasa ketiga ini akan berakhir pada 31 hari bulan Ogos. Sebarang keputusan terbaru akan dibincangkan oleh kementerian, jabatan dan juga akan dibawa ke kabinet untuk diputuskan. Jadi bila kita membuat keputusan itu merupakan keputusan kabinet dan ianya bersandarkan kepada langkah intervensi sementara.
Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Dr. Ronald said final preparations are currently being made for the Malaysia Agriculture, Horticulture and Agrotourism 2022 MAHA Expo, which will run from 4 to 14 August at MIAPS. He said the mega event is making a return after a 2-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The minister is also happy with the progress of the Expo's preparations and groundwork and praised the organisers' efforts despite heavy rain which occurred for a short spell this morning.
Kehadiran pengunjung melebihi daripada maha-maha sebelum ini. Jadi kami di MAFI melihat touch-up terakhir oleh pengusaha dan juga semua yang mengambil bahagian dalam 1,500 booth pameran sedang dilaksanakan oleh mereka dan tentu sekali after 4 hari ini kita akan melihat pameran ini dalam keadaan yang lengkap dan sedia untuk dikunjungi oleh para pelanggan dan pengunjung.
Datuk Sri Dr. Ronald said preparations are expected to be fully completed 3 days before the opening of the event. He also said the Prime Minister, Datuk Sri Semasa will attend the launch ceremony on 6th August. Rebates for power outage compensation will depend on GSL standards. Stay with us. Rebates for consumers to compensate for the power outage last Wednesday will be subject to the findings on Tenaga Nasional Berhad TNB's Guaranteed Service Level GSL standards. Energy and Natural Resources Minister Datuk Sri Takayuddin Hassan said the Energy Commission and TNB were currently investigating the incident on 27 July, which would take a month to complete from the date of the incident. He said in a statement today that apart from establishing the cause and effect of the power outage, the investigation will also look into and determine if the incident adhered to GSL or not, which will then be the basis for determining whether the customers involved are eligible for rebates or otherwise. The GSL is a document by the Energy Commission to ensure the quality of electrical supply and service by TNB. He added that if TNB failed to comply with the GSL, a penalty in the form of rebates to consumers would be imposed. He said during the blackout, about 1 million consumers in several states in peninsular Malaysia had reportedly experienced power outages. According to the minister, the GSL was created to safeguard the interests of consumers and improve the performance of TNB services. The Plantation Industries and Commodities Ministry is planning to seek more allocation from the Finance Ministry under Budget 2023 to conduct more concerted efforts towards environmental preservation. Minister Datuk Zuraidah Kamarudin said this was also in line with Malaysia's commitment to realising targets set under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. In a statement released today, Datuk Zuraidah said the government remains committed to increasing conservation efforts to minimize human-wildlife conflicts for the sake of sustainability of the plantation sector. She explained that the efforts would also refute criticism, especially from the West, that Malaysia does not comply with global environmental standards for commercial purposes. According to her, the ministry, through various agencies such as the Malaysian Palm Oil Green Conservation Foundation, has implemented various initiatives to ensure the sustainable growth of the plantation sector. This includes the development of the Borneo Elephant Wildlife Sanctuary to deal with human-elephant conflicts and the creation of controlled public access protected areas to better understand and care for the animals. She said a program to plant elephant grass species was also conducted to encourage the animals to use wildlife corridors that can help reduce human-elephant conflicts. The Transport Ministry has no intention to increase the frequency of inspections for commercial vehicles in Malaysia conducted at Puspakom Sendiran Berhad Puspakom in order to prevent road accidents involving heavy vehicles. Its Minister, Datuk Seri Dr. Wee Ka Siong, said the main factors of those accidents include irresponsible parties overloading the lorries as well as drivers violating the traffic rules and regulations.
Masih lagi. Tetapi kerana kita kata, kerana ada aksiden ni kita nak kerapkan 2 bulan, 3 bulan. Terlalu kerap pun ada masalah juga. Sebab kita mesti ada justifikasi. Kita tak nak semata-mata untuk kerana satu insiden kita buat macam ni. Tapi masalahnya bukan di sini. Masalahnya ialah muatan lebih.
The minister further explained that it is very crucial to ensure that the drivers follow the stipulated rules not only during the checkups but also on the road after the periodic inspections. At the moment, commercial vehicles are required to undergo inspections at Puspakom every 6 months. Puspakom is the only organisation in the nation that monitors the functionality and conditions of commercial vehicles. A total of 111 scam victims had filed a lawsuit against a local private travel agency for offering them fraudulent Hajj pilgrimage packages. They decided to take the measure after suffering losses totaling over 3 million ringgit, which have not been compensated. They filed the civil lawsuit through law firm Tariq Seth and Partner. Lawyer Muhammad Nazrin Muhammad Seth also urged several parties, including the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, as well as the Royal Malaysia Police, to take actions on the matter.
Di samping itu kami juga menggesa pihak kerajaan, terutamanya Kementerian Pelancongan Seni dan Budaya (MOTEK) untuk melaksanakan kuasa-kuasanya seperti mana yang diperuntukkan di bawah Akta Industri Pelancongan, yang mana siasatan boleh dijalankan oleh pihak MOTEK selaras dengan peruntukan di bawah Seksyen 41 Akta tersebut. Jadi, this is one of the things lah yang kita nak tahu, kan? Dan lain-lain lah. Lesen travel agency tersebut boleh juga digantung dan atau dibatalkan di bawah Seksyen 8 Akta tersebut. Adakah perkara-perkara ini telah dilaksanakan atau perkara-perkara ini telah diberi perhatian?
On 7 July, about 380 prospective Hajj pilgrims found themselves stranded at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, believed to be victims of a scam by a private travel agency. They were believed to have used Furada visas, which are private Hajj visas not involving the Lembaga Tabung Haji quota. Sarawak Fire and Rescue Department has yet to receive any reports of incidents related to the Chinese Long March 5B rocket debris, which was detected in the state's airspace at about 12:55 a.m. this morning. Its director, Datu Hirudin Rahman, said so far, the department has not received any information regarding the rocket debris. The Malaysian Space Agency, in a press statement today, confirmed that the Long March 5B rocket debris was detected in Malaysian airspace this morning. It said the rocket debris caught fire while entering the Earth's airspace, and the movement of the burning debris had crossed the Malaysian airspace. It was detected in several areas, including crossing the airspace around the state of Sarawak. The Space Agency added the burnt debris was recorded to have fallen at Sulu Sea. Long March 5B rocket was launched from the Wenchang spacecraft launch site, Wenchang, in China, on 24th July to send a 23,000-kilogram Wentian module to the Tiangong space station. Although the rocket was huge, the Malaysian Space Agency said most of the debris would be burned during re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere, with only smaller fragments landing on Earth. Coming up next, Putin announces procurement of hypersonic missiles. Stay with us. Russian President Vladimir Putin said today that the Russian Navy would receive hypersonic Zircon cruise missiles within the next few months, and that the area of their deployment would depend on Russian interests. Speaking on Russia's Navy Day in the former imperial capital of St. Petersburg, Putin praised Tsar Peter the Great for making Russia a great sea power. Putin did not mention Ukraine directly, but the Kremlin chief said he had signed a new Navy doctrine, the details of which were not published, and touted the Zircon hypersonic cruise missiles as unique in the world.
Ключевое здесь – это возможности военно-морского флота. Он способен молниеносно ответить всем, кто решит посягнуть на наш суверенитет и свободу.
Hypersonic weapons can travel at 9 times the speed of sound, and Russia has conducted previous test launches of the Zircon from warships and submarines over the past year. North Korea reported no new fever cases yesterday for the first time since its acknowledgement in mid-May of a COVID-19 outbreak in the isolated country. State-run media Korean Central News Agency KCNA reported a rapid mobile treatment force was still on high alert, and efforts were underway to detect and stamp out the epidemic until the last patient had fully recovered. The state media said 204 fever patients were under treatment as of Friday. KCNA also said 99.99% of its 4.77 million fever patients since late April had fully recovered. However, because of an apparent lack of testing, it has not released any figures on people who tested positive for the virus. Infectious disease experts have cast doubts on North Korea's claims of progress, with the World Health Organization saying last month it believed the situation was getting worse, not better, amid an absence of independent data. Turkey's Bosphorus Strait will become a vital communication hub for Ukraine's grain cargo ships before entering the international market after a deal was signed by Russia, Turkey, Ukraine and the United Nations. On 22nd July, Ukraine and Russia separately signed a deal with Turkey and the UN in Istanbul to resume grain shipments from Ukrainian ports to international markets via the Black Sea. The Black Sea Grain Initiative will allow significant volumes of commercial food and fertilizer exports from 3 key ports in the Black Sea, namely Odessa, Chernomorsk and Yuzhny. Under the deal, Russia, Ukraine, Turkey and the UN will set up a joint coordination center in Istanbul to handle shipments of crops outside the Black Sea port. According to local media in Turkey, a Turkish captain said his ship was at Chernomorsk for wheat loading and waiting for further instructions from the joint coordination center on sailing route and speed. Iran's President Raisi visited some of the areas affected by recent floods and landslides triggered by heavy rains in which at least 53 people were killed yesterday. He traveled by helicopter alongside representatives of the Iranian Red Crescent Society to the flooded city of Firuzkoh, east of the capital Tehran, where at least 10 people died. From the air, he was able to see the extent of the damage after 2 days of floods that have affected 400 towns and villages in 18 of Iran's 31 provinces and closed many highways. He then visited people and flood areas in Mazdaran village outside Firuzkoh city. Rescuers are continuing their search for the missing. According to Mehdi Valipour, head of emergency operations at the Red Crescent Society, 16 people were still missing after 2 days of floods. State media said at least 8 people died on Thursday in a landslide caused by floods in the village of Imamzadeh Davud, northwest of Tehran. Moving on to sports, Shah Firdaus pedals his way to Kirin bronze. Stay with us. Updates of the Commonwealth Games 2022. National track cyclist Muhammad Shah Firdaus Safrom powered his way to a bronze medal in the men's Kirin event today. This marked the end of Malaysia's 8-year wait for a podium finish in the event after national track cycling ace Datuk Muhammad Azizul Hasni Awang won bronze in the 2014 Glasgow edition. In the action at the Lee Valley Velo Park, his closest competitor, Nicholas Paul of Trinidad and Tobago, bagged the gold medal, while Jack Carlin of Scotland settled for silver. Having faltered so many times at the finals of various championships and multi-sports games previously, the 26-year-old admitted that he is extremely thrilled to finally get his first medal at the quadrennial games. Muhammad Azizul Hasni pulled out from the games as he is still undergoing rehabilitation following open heart surgery in April. The last time Malaysia won gold was through Josiah Ng in New Delhi 2010. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Rayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah extended His Majesty's congratulations to two national athletes who won gold at the Commonwealth Games yesterday. The same gesture was expressed by Raja Pemaisri Agong Tunku Hajah Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria. Both the King and Queen shared their Majesty's wishes through the official Istana Negara Facebook page. Weightlifter Muhammad Anik Kasdan won the country's first gold medal yesterday after topping the men's 55 kg category with a combined total weight of 249 kilograms. Muhammad Anik also managed to set a new Commonwealth Games record after lifting 107 kilograms in the snatch and 142 kilograms in the clean and jerk. The country's second gold medal was contributed by Muhammad Aznil Bidin in the 61 kg weightlifting event with a combined total weight of 285 kilograms, thus setting a new record for the Games. The Kedah-born's snatch lift was 127 kilograms with a clean and jerk of 158 kilograms. In English football, and as the new season of the English Premier League looms around the corner, Liverpool claimed the FA Community Shield 2022 after a convincing 3-1 win over Manchester City at the King Power Stadium. Trent Alexander-Arnold opened the scoreboard in the 21st minute, perfecting a pass by Mohamed Salah. The citizens, however, doubled their result and managed to equalise in the 70th minute with a strike by Julian Alvarez. The Reds then pulled ahead again when the ball touched Ruben Dias's hand in front of the goal, granting Liverpool a penalty kick which was completed by Salah in the 83rd minute. Darwin Núñez ensured Liverpool ended the night in style as he sealed the fate of Manchester City with the third goal for his side, all but ensuring victory goes to Jurgen Klopp's side. Liverpool won the season curtain raiser for the first time since 2006, making it their 15th in total. In Germany, Sadio Mane opened his competitive goal-scoring account for Bayern Munich as the Bundesliga champions defeated Leipzig 5-3 to capture the German Super Cup for a 10th time on Saturday. The African Player of the Year also had 2 goals ruled out for offsides in the game played at Leipzig's Red Bull Arena. Christopher Nkunku rifled home from the penalty spot, and Dani Olmo was also on target for Leipzig, but Leroy Sané secured the 5-3 win in stoppage time. Bayern coach Julian Nagelsmann insisted his team deserved the victory. Bayern Munich begin the defense of their Bundesliga title away to Eintracht Frankfurt next Friday. And on to tennis, Serbian superstar Novak Djokovic said he remains hopeful he will be allowed to play at the US Open when it begins in late August. Currently, Djokovic faces restriction from playing in the Grand Slam due to his status of not being vaccinated against COVID-19. Current rules require non-US citizens to show proof of being fully vaccinated before entering the country by air from a foreign nation, and he would need an exemption to play. The 35-year-old on social media said that he would be ready to go should he get the okay. Despite the slim chances, the world number 7 was still hopeful as his name appears on the entry list for the US Open, which will be held from 29 August to 11 September in New York. The 21-time Grand Slam winner also thanked his fans for their support, such as their participation in a petition drive in which almost 45,000 people had signed asking Djokovic to be allowed to play. The U.S. Tennis Association and the federal government has said it will adhere to federal rules and won't seek an exemption for any player, even a 3-time champion like Djokovic. Wrapping up the news at 10, in our top story, instill love for country warrior spirit among rakyat in conjunction with Warriors Day celebration. Don't forget to tune in to updates at noon tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. on TV2. Till then, it's lights out. I'm Brendan Paul. Thank you for watching. Salam keluarga Malaysia and have a spectacular week.